about this, that the majority of people who are not of color, white people, always say, but I don't think I'm prejudiced. Even just, Gloria said it earlier, but I don't think I'm prejudiced. When we come back, I think what needs to be explained is, okay, everybody is prejudiced. Everybody is prejudiced. And I think the reason why people say, white people in particular say, I'm not prejudiced, is because they're afraid somehow then they're going to be judged because they are prejudiced. I think that if at least the country could just tell the truth about ourselves. If you could just say, yes, if you have to recognize that you are prejudiced before you can begin to change it. When we come back, we're going to tell you why you are prejudiced and how to stop teaching it to your children. It's trying to teach racism through the brown-eyed, blue-eyed experiment, and already the blue-eyed and green-eyed people in this building are upset and want you to explain, Jane, that what you were saying to him about brown-eyed people and blue-eyed people is not true.
No. But his eye color has nothing to do with his ignorance.
Because already in our bill, in Harpo, people were saying she needs to say, because blue-eyed people, there's nothing wrong. It's an experiment. Yes. Okay, so Jane, what I think we also need to explain, and I think our next show, we should do that, our next show. How many of you would be willing to participate in the brown-eyed, blue-eyed experiment? Yeah. Okay, good. We'll have you back one day. We'll do it.
You people like to suffer, don't you?
Yeah, like to suffer. It's so interesting. Even though you know it's an experiment, people get so crazed in the midst of it. I think you need to explain something that I think maybe got not heard as well as it should have, Jane. Jane said just a few minutes ago that if you were raised white in America and you are not prejudiced, then you would be a miracle. It would be a miracle to not be prejudiced. And explain what you meant by that.
It would mean that the school system had failed, because the school system in this country is about maintaining the status quo. And in this country, it is white supremacy. That is one of the things we teach in the schools. And we teach it in lots and lots of ways. How many of you have ever had a teacher say to you, when I see people, I don't see people as black or brown or red or yellow. I just see people as people. How many of you have ever heard that statement? How many of you have ever made that
Gloria just said it earlier today. Gloria just said, I don't see color.
I don't see color. Isn't that wonderful? How many of you have ever heard a teacher say this? I don't care if you're black or brown or green with purple stripes. I'm going to treat you all the same. Ever heard that one? Now, how many of you have ever seen earthlings that were green with purple stripes? You see, that's a very serious statement to make, because you are lumping all people of color with aliens. And it's what we do in this country. We consider those who are people of color not really citizens of this country. How many of you have heard this one? I think we should just ignore differences and talk about how we're all alike inside. Okay? Now, I want you to see something. You stand up here, please. Just stand right there. Put your black shoe right beside my black shoe. Now, you people see any differences between us? What's the first one you notice? Height. Is your height important to you?
Yes.
Well, yeah. Would you rather be your height or mine?
Mine.
Absolutely. Everybody would. You see any other differences here? Color. Sex. Sex. Is sex important to you? Well, let me put that on. Is the fact that you're male important to you?
Yes.
Yes. Are we alike on the inside?
Yeah.
Oh, we are? Can you get cancer of the cervix?
No.
Can I get prostate cancer? No. Does that make a difference in the way we're treated? Absolutely, it makes a big difference in the way we're treated. Sex is an important difference. Height is an important difference. You see any other difference here? Age. Would you rather be your age or mine?
Mine.
You want to get to be my age? Now, that's the ignorance of youth talking, people. He has a lot of things to worry about that I don't have to worry about anymore. Age is an important difference. They're trying to pass legislation in the Congress of this country to allow us to withhold medical attention from those over 75 because they are no longer productive members of society. How many of you have a parent or a grandparent who is over 75? How many of you would want medical attention withheld from that person on the basis of their birth date? Now, people, you need to be aware that if they can do it to people of color today, they can do it to the aged tomorrow. And all of you will have to worry about that someday if you're very fortunate. See any other differences here? Glasses. You talked about height and age and gender. You see another difference here that's important? Color, yeah, see, nobody wants to say the C word. It used to be the C word was condom. You couldn't say that one. Now you have to say it because it will keep you alive. But now no one wants to say the C word as color because we have a president who says, I think what we need is a colorblind society. Now, folks, when you hear somebody say that, you know you're listening to a racist. Because what he is saying is there's something wrong with this person's color. So we just will pretend he isn't this color. Has anyone ever said to you, when I see you, I don't see you as black?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many of you people of color have had that experience?
Well, you know what happened? Can I share this with you? You all, Jane and you all? I have a neighbor of mine who was a farmer, and I have some sheep, and I have a lot of black sheep. And sometimes when you have the black sheep turn white. I don't know how the hell they do that, but anyway, so my neighbor who's a farmer said to me not too long ago, he says, you know, I don't understand. All your black sheep stayed black. And I said, yeah, I guess because they knew they were in a black family. And he said, and my farmer neighbor, who happens to be a white man, said to me, oh, you're not black. You're just a neighbor. I go, I most certainly am black. But that was his way of saying, you're not like what I think other black people are. Right. So I understood that's what he was saying, but that's what you're saying.
Is your color important to you?
Yes.
Absolutely. White folks, listen to that. Color is important to people of color. But it's also important to white people. It has been negatively important in this country for 500 years. When you start seeing it as a positive, then white people will begin to say, well, now let's not deal with it that way, because then that will mean there's something wrong with us because we are colorless. Color is an important difference, folks. We are not the same on the inside, not only because we're different male and female. Black psychology isn't the same as white psychology. It doesn't mean it's better or worse, it's just different. Differences need not be seen as negative. They are positive, they are valuable. Folks, forget the melting pot theory. It would never work, it shouldn't have to work. It ought to be all right to be different. It ought to be all right for us to be male, female, tall, short, fat, thin, old, young, black, white, brown, yellow, whatever. The differences are important. Think of this country as a salad bowl. How many of you make salad by throwing the green peppers, the red peppers, the tomatoes, the lettuce, the celery, the onions into a blender, blending them up, pouring them in glasses, and passing them around with various kinds of dressing? You want all the components in that salad to maintain their flavor, their shape, their size, their texture, their color, because it makes for a more interesting whole. This audience is a very interesting group because of the differences. It really bothers me when I talk to all-white groups, because, folks, there's no such thing as an all-white group. You all have the same great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparent back there 280,000 years ago, and she was a black female.
Why the maps? Why the maps?
Well, because people who are racist, in this country, we're all racist. White folks are all racist. We don't understand where it comes from. You can't cure it if you don't recognize that you have it. We all are infected with racism. We are taught to be racist in the schools. And here's just one example. Will you hold this up with this? How many of you have ever seen a map that looked like this before? How many of you have ever seen this map?
Seen that map.
Yeah, isn't this the map that you use K through 16 in the United States of America? Now, folks, look at this map. According to your social studies teacher, what is the equator? An imaginary line where?
Yeah.
Around the center of the earth. Then if this map is correct, then the equator must be here, and Chicago has a tropical climate. Now, folks, this is the map that we use in the schools. Look where the United States is, in the middle of the world, right? Now, here's the USSR, which is no more, of course, Mongolia, China, Africa, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan. Now, look over here. USSR, Mongolia, China, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan. Two Indias here. We have two Indias. Did you know that? Now, people, this is a flat-out lie. Look at the size of Greenland and the size of South America. According to your social studies teachers, what were continents? Largest land masses on the face of the earth, right? Now, do you know the continents? Africa, Asia, Australia, Antarctica, Europe, North America, and South America. Did I say Greenland? Well, Greenland isn't a continent, but it's a huge landmass according to this map, right? The map is a flat-out lie, people. If you read the legend on the map, here it says, in fact, South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
Now, do you understand why this video is relevant? Because racism is intertwined with your education, with your math, with your way of life. And since you don't know about it, you sit there and you live it out and you reinforce it. You have to snap out of it and get out of the matrix before it's too late.
Now, look at this map. The equator on this map is down here. All the white countries are larger than they should be, and all the countries of people of color are smaller than they should be. This is a visual image that teaches children a lie. In order to make this map anywhere near accurate, you have to take this over here and put it here like this. Now, well, can somebody hold that? Can you hold that down there, somebody? Are you a somebody?
Sally is a somebody.
Okay,
yeah.
Sally's a somebody. There. Now, take a look at the difference. Does that give you a different visual image of the importance of the United States? People, the way you use things like this, teaching aids like this, are what make you and I racist. We were taught that this... Can somebody hold that? Can you hold that down there, somebody? Are you a somebody?
Sally is a somebody.
Okay,
yeah.
Sally's a somebody. There. Now, take a look at the difference. Does that give you a different visual image of the importance of the United States? Somebody. There. Now, take a look at the difference. Does that give you a different visual image of the importance of the United States? People, the way you use things like...
So, it gives you a visual image of the importance of the United States. So since they corrupted your maps, the United States is not important to you. Even though everything is older, you want to go back to Africa.
Like this, teaching aids like this are what make you...
Or the desert in the Middle East.